कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वाकतः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदि अन्तः स्थितो अविद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance on classes of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead who is praised with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Sami Prabhu, you can show the...
So will you start? Can you see?
Yes. I cannot see. You're not sharing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam third canto, you're sharing the...
Yes, please.
Yes. So this is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam third canto. Which chapter?
12.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam chapter 3, canto 3, chapter 12, text 35. All right. Thank you for allowing me to read, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for reading, Prabhu. Haribol.
Chaturhotram karmatantram upavedha nayaihikshaha dharmasya padash chatvarash tathaivashrama vrittayah. Chatuhu, 4. Hotram, paraphernalia for sacrifice. Karma, action. Tantram, expansions of such activities. Upavedha, supplementary to the Vedas. Nayehi, by logical conclusions. Saha, along with. Dharmasya, of religiosity. Padaha, principles. Chatvaraha, 4. Tatha eva, in the same way. Ashrama, social orders. Vrittayaha, occupations. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Please scroll up, Prabhu. We are in the purport. I have to read the translation.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No issue. The 4 kinds of paraphernalia for conducting the fire sacrifice became manifest. The performer, the chanter, the offerer, the fire, and the action performed in terms of supplementary Vedas. Also, the 4 principles of religiosity truth, austerity, mercy, and cleanliness, and the duties in the four social orders all became manifest. Purport. Eating, sleeping, defending, and mating are the four principles of material bodily demands which are common to both the animals and the human society. To distinguish human society from the animals, there is the performance of religious activities in terms of social statuses and orders of life. They are all clearly mentioned in the Vedic literatures and were manifested by Brahma when the four Vedas were generated from his four mouths. Thus, the duties of humankind in terms of the statuses and social orders were established to be observed by the civilized man. Those who traditionally follow these principles are called Aryans or progressive human beings. Text 36. Vidura uvacha savai vishvashrujam misho vedadin mukhato shrijat yad yad yena shridat devas tanme bruhi tapodhana. Vidura vacha. Vidura said, Saha, he, Brahma, why, certainly, Vishwa, the universe, Shrujam, of those who created, Ishaha, the controller, Veda Adin, the Vedas, etc. Mukhataha, from the mouth, Ashjat, established, Yat, that, Yat, which, Yena, by which, Ashjat, created, Devaha, the God, Tat, that, may, unto me, Bruhi, please explain, Tapaha Dhana, O sage, whose only wealth is penance. Translation. Vidura said, O great sage, whose only wealth is penance, kindly explain to me how and with whose help Brahma established the Vedic knowledge which emanated from his mouth. Penance means austerity, Prabhu. Text 38. Maitreya vacha Rigyajuhu Shama Tarvakyan Vedhan Purvadibhir Mukhaihi Shastram Ijyam Stutitstomam Prayashchittam Vyadhat Kramat. Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Rig, Yaju, Sama, Atharva, the four Vedas, Akhyan of the name, Vedan, Vedic literatures, Purva, Adibhihi, beginning with the front, Mukhyahi, by the mouths, Shastram, Vedic hymns, not pronounced before, Vijyam, priestly rituals, Stuti Stotmam, the subject matter of the reciters, Prayah Chittam, transcendental activities, Vyadhat, established, Kramat, one after another. Translation. Oh, this is text 37, is it? All right. Maitreya said, beginning from the front face of Brahma, gradually the four Vedas, Rig, Yajuhu, Shama, and Atharva became manifest. Thereafter, Vedic hymns which had not been pronounced before, priestly rituals, the subject matters of the recitation, and transcendental activities were all established one after another. Text 38. Ayurvedam Dhanurvedam Gandharvam Vedamatmanah Stapatyam Shashtradat Vedam Kramat Purvatibhir Mukhaihi. Ayuh Vedam, medical science, Tanuh Vedam, military science, Gandharvam, musical art, Vedam, they're all Vedic knowledge, Atmanaha, of his own, Stapatyam, architectural, Cha, also, Ashjat, created, Vedam, knowledge, Kramat, respectively, Purva Adibhihi, beginning from the front face, Mukhaihi, mouth. Translation. He also created the medical science, military art, musical art, and architectural science, all from the Vedas. They all emanated one after another, beginning from the front face. Purport. The Vedas contain perfect knowledge, which includes all kinds of knowledge necessary for human society, not only on this particular planet, but on other planets as well. It is understood that military art is also necessary knowledge for the upkeep of social order, as is the art of music. All these groups of knowledge are called the Upapurana, or supplements of the Vedas. Spiritual knowledge is the main topic of the Vedas, but to help the human being's spiritual pursuit of knowledge, the other information, as above mentioned, forms necessary branches of the Vedic knowledge. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedamishwarah Sarvebhya eva Vaktrebhya Shashuje Sarvadarshanaha. Itihasa, histories, Puranani, Puranas, supplementary Vedas, Panchamam, the fifth, Vedam, the Vedic literature, Ishvaraha, the Lord, Sarvebhyaha, altogether, Eva, certainly, Vaktrebhyaha, from his mouths, Shashje, created, Sarva, all round, Darshanaha, one who can see all time. Translation. Then he created the fifth Veda, the Puranas and the histories from all his mouths, since he could see all the past, present, and future. Purport. There are histories of particular countries and nations and of the world. But the Puranas are the histories of the universe, not only in one millennium, but in many kalpas. Brahma has knowledge of those historical facts, and therefore all the Puranas are histories, as originally composed by Brahma. They are part of the Vedas and are called the fifth Veda. Can you please scroll down, Canto? Chodashi uktau purvakrat purishi agnishtu tau atha aptor yamatiratau tarau cha vajapeyam sagoshavam. Sodashi uktau, types of sacrifices. Purva Vaktrat, from the eastern mouth. Purishi Agnishtutau, types of sacrifices. Atha, then. Aptoryama Atiratrau, types of sacrifices. Cha, and. Vajapeyam, types of sacrifice. Sagoshavam, types of sacrifice. Translation. All the different varieties of fire sacrifices, Shodashi, Ukta, Purishi, Agnishtoma, Aptoryama, Atiratra, Vajpayeya, and Goshava, became manifested from the eastern mouth of Brahma. Text 41. Vidyadhanam tapa satyam dharma shyeti padhani cha ashramam cha yatha shankyam ashjat saha vriddhi. Vidya, education, dhanam, charity, tapaha, penance, satyam, truth, dharmasya, of religion, iti, thus, padani, four legs, cha, also, ashraman, orders of life, cha, also, yatha, as they are, sankyam, in number, ashjat, created, saha, along with, vritti, bihi, by occasions, translation. Education, charity, penance, and truth are said to be the four legs of religion. Education, charity, penance, and truth are said to be the four legs of religion. And to learn this, there are four orders of life with different classifications of castes according to vocation. Brahma created all these in systematic order. Purport. The nucleus of the four social orders, brahmacharya, student life, grahastha, household life, vanaprastha, or retired life for practicing penance, and sannyasa, or renounced life for preaching the truth, is the four legs of religion. The vocational divisions of the brahmanas, or the intelligent class, the kshatriyas, or administrative class, the vaishyas, or mercantile productive class, and the shudras, or general laborer class, have no specific qualifications. All were systematically planned and created by Brahma for the regular promotion of self-realization. Student life is meant for acquiring the best education. Household family life is meant for gratifying the senses, provided it is performed with a charitable disposition of mind. Retirement from household life is meant for penance, for advancement of spiritual life, and renounced life is meant for preaching the absolute truth to the people in general. The combined actions of all members of society make the whole situation favorable for the upliftment of the mission of human life. The beginning of the social institution is based on education meant for purifying the animal propensities of the human being. The highest purificatory process is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the purest of the pure. Text 42. Okay. Savitram Prajapatyam cha Brahmam chata Brahat tatha Vartha Shanchaya Shalina Shiloncha iti vai grihe. Savitram, the thread ceremony of the twice born. Prajapatyam, to execute the vow for 1 year. Cha, and Brahmam, acceptance of the Vedas. Cha, and Atha, also Brihat, complete abstinence from sex life. Tatha, then Vartha, occasion in terms of Vedic sanction. Shanchaya, professional duty. Shalina, livelihood without asking anyone for cooperation. Shiloncha, picking up rejected grains. Iti, thus, why, even though, grihe, in household life. Translation. Okay. Then the thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were, just hold on. Okay, sorry. The thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were the rules to be observed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas. Rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life, occasion in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining a livelihood without anyone's cooperation by picking up rejected grains. Purport. During student life, the brahmacharis were given full instructions about the human form of life. Thus, the basic education was desired to encourage the students in becoming free from family encumbrances. Only students who were unable to accept such a verb in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. Otherwise, the student would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. It all depended on the quality of the student's training. We had the opportunity to meet an avavad brahmachari in the personality of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. Such a great soul is called a Naishtika brahmachari. This is what Prahlad Prabhu is doing, right? I'm very sorry to interrupt. But see, thus the basic education was designed to encourage the students in becoming free from family encumbrances. Yeah. And only students who are unable were allowed to go and marry. That's why Prahlad Prabhu always says, if you're young, then if you're try to stay near the temple or get brahmachari training or that way. And then if you cannot, then you get married. Not directly you just step into kind of, get proper training and, yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. This is like first you fail, you are as brahmachari, then you fail, and then you get as a trophy or as a punishment, you get the wife.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, correct.
Double
Text.
bad thing.
Yeah.
You lose the temple place, and also you have to do so
Bad
many.
bargain. Yeah.
Yes.
Other material things. Yeah. What to do? Text 43. Vaikhanasha Valakhilau Khilyau Dimbaraha Fena Pavane Nyashe Kuti Chakkaha purvam bahvado hamsha nishkriyau vaikhanashaha. The section of men who retire from active life and live on half-boiled meals. Valak hilaya, one who quits his former stock of grains on receipt of more. Audhum baraha, one who lives on what he gets from the direction towards which he starts after rising from bed. Fena paha, one who lives on the fruits which automatically fall down from the tree. Vane, in the forest. Nyashe, in the order of renunciation. Kuti chakkaha, life in the family without attachment. Purvam, in the beginning. Bahvodaha, giving up all material activities and engaging fully in transcendental service. Hamshaha, fully engaged in transcendental knowledge. Nishkriyau, stopping all kinds of activities. Translation: the four divisions of retired life are vanaprastha life, okay. Vaikha, Nashash, Vala, Kilyas, Authum, Baras, and Fenapas. The four divisions of the renounced order are, Kutichakas, Bhavodas, Hamshas, and Nishkriyas. All these were manifested from Brahma. Purport: the Varnashrama Dharma, or the institution of the four divisions and orders of social and spiritual life, is not a new invention of the modern age, as proposed by the less intelligent. It is an institution established by Brahma, the beginning of creation. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam, Bhagavad Gita 4.13. Avikshiki Trayevarta Danda Nitishtathaiva cha Evam Vyahartayashashan Pranavo Yashya Dahrataha. Anvikshiki, logic. Trayi, the three goals, namely religion, economy, and salvation. Varta, sense gratification. Dandha, law and order. Nitihi, moral codes. Tatha, as also. Evacha, respectively. Evam, thus. Vyahartayaha, the celebrated hymns. Buhu, Bubaha, and Swaha. Cha, also. Ashan, came into existence. Pranavaha, the Omkara. He is certainly. Asya, of him. Brahma. Dahrataha, from the heart. Translation: the science of logical argument, the Vedic goals of life, law and order, moral codes, and the celebrated hymn Buhu, Buvaha, and Swaha all became manifested from the mouths of Brahma, and the Pranava Omkara was manifested from his heart. Text 45. Tasyosnik ashil lomhabhyo gayatri cha tvacho viboho trishtum mamshat snuto nushtu jagati ashtinah prajapate. Tasya, his ushnik of the Vedic meters, ashit, generated, lomabhya, from the hairs on the body, gayatri, the principal Vedic hymn, cha, also, tvachaha, from the skin, vibhoho, of the Lord, trishtub, a particular type of poetic meter, mamshat, from the flesh, shnutaha, from the sinews, anushthab, another type of poetic meter, jagati, another type of poetic meter, ashnaha, from the bones, prajhapatehe, of the father of the living entities. Translation: thereafter the art of literary expression, ushnik, was generated from the hairs on the body of the almighty Prajapati. The principal Vedic hymn, Gayatri, was generated from the skin, Trishtup from the flesh, Anushtup from the veins, and Jagati from the bones of the Lord of the living entities. Thank you so much for allowing me to read Sami Prabhu, and all devotees for giving me this opportunity. Any others who would like to continue, they can. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
I think Ashish Prabhu want to continue.
May I read a couple?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. It's a one-line verse. I've never seen this before.
Yes, Prabhu, sometimes it shows.
Yeah. Maya panktir utpanna brihati pranato bhavat. Word meaning? Maya yaha, from the bone marrow. Panktihi, the particular type of verse. Utpanna, became manifested. Brihati, another type of verse. Pranataha, out of the life breathing. Abhavat, generated. Translation: the art of writing verse, Pankti, became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of Brihati, another type of verse, was generated from the life breath of the Lord of the living entities. Text 47. Sparshastas yabhavaj jivaha swaro deha udahrita ushmanam indriyanya ahur antahastha balam atmanah swaraha sapta viharena bhavanti sma prajapatehe. Sparshaha, the set of letters from Ka to Ma. Tasya, his. Abhavat, became. Jivaha, the soul. Swaraha, vowels. Dehaha, his body. Udahritaha are expressed. Ushmanam, the letters Sha, Sha, Sa, and Ha. Indriyani, the senses. Ahuhu are called. Antahasthaha, the set of letters so known. Ya, Ra, La, and Va. Balam, energy. Atmanaha, of his self. Swaraha, music. Sapta, 7. Viharena, by the sensual activities. Bhavanti, sma, became manifested. Prajapatehe, of the Lord of the living entities. Translation: Brahma's soul manifested as the touch alphabets, his body as the vowels, his senses as the sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music. Purport: in Sanskrit, there are 13 vowels and 35 consonants. The vowels are a, e, u, ri, l, a, I, o. And the consonants are ka, kha, ga, gha, etc. Among the consonants, the first 25 letters are called the sparshas. There are also 4 antahastas. Of the ushmas, there are 3 sas called the talavya, murdhanya, and danta. The musical notes are sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. And all these sound vibrations are originally called Shabda Brahma, or spiritual sound. It is said, therefore, that Brahma was created in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of the spiritual sound. The Vedas are spiritual sound, and therefore there is no need of material interpretation for the sound vibration of the Vedic literature. The Vedas should be vibrated as they are, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. At the ultimate issue, there is nothing material because everything has its origin in the spiritual world. The material manifestation is therefore called illusion in the proper sense of the term. For those who are realized souls, there is nothing but spirit. Text 48. Shabda Brahmatmanas tasya vyakta vyaktatmanaha paraha brahmavabhati vitato nana shaktya upabrim khathitaha. Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound. Atmanaha, of the Supreme Lord. Tasya, his. Vyakta, manifested. Avyakta Atmanaha, of the unmanifested. Paraha, transcendental. Brahma, the absolute. Avabhati, completely manifested. Vitaha, distributing. Nana, multifarious. Shakti, energies. Upabrimhitaha, invested with. Translation: Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the Absolute Truth and is invested with multifarious energies. Purport: the post of Brahma is the biggest responsibility post within this universe, and it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to become Brahma, and there is no suitable living being to occupy the post. In the material world, Brahma is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and transcendental sound, pranava, comes from him. He is therefore invested with multifarious energies from which all the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are manifested. His transcendental value is not to be minimized, even though he exhibited a tendency to enjoy his own daughter. There is a purpose for the exhibition of such a tendency by Brahma, and he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. I'll do one more. Tato param upadaya sa sargaya manodade. Word meaning? Tataha, thereafter. Aparam, another. Upadaya, having accepted. Saha, he. Sargaya, in the matter of creation. Manaha, mind. Dadhe, gave attention. Translation. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Purport. In his former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden, and Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation, his former body transformed into fog as previously described. Does anybody else want to continue?
Yes, Prabhu, I am here.
Great, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dhamma Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhu, Tanda Pram, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, in fact,
Hare
I
Krishna, Jai
generally
Srila Prabhupada.
wait till the last moment, because if anyone wants to read, I will let them do so. Okay.
Oh, it's 57. Yes, Prabhu, we can read the last ones.
50. Okay, text 50. Rishinam bhurviryanam api sargam avishrutam jnatva tad dhraye bhuyas chintayamasa kaurava. Synonyms. Rishinam, of the great sages, bhuri viryanam, with great potential power, api, in spite of sargam, the creation, avishrutam, not extended, jnatva, knowing, that, tadaya, in his heart, bhuyaha, again, chintayamasa, he began to consider Kaurava, O son of the Kurus. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O son of the Kurus, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he began to seriously consider how the population could be increased. Text 51. Aho adbhutam etan me vyapritasyapi nityada nahi edhante praja nunam daivam atra vighatakam. Synonyms. Aho, alas, adbhutam, it is wonderful, etat, this, may, for me, vyapritasya, being busy, api, although, nityada, always, na, does not, he, certainly, edhante, generate, prajaha, living entities, nunam, however, daivam, destiny, atra, herein, vighatakam, against. Translation. Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune save and except destiny. Text 52. Evam yukta kritas tasya daivan chavekshatas tada kasya rupam abhut dvedha yat kayam avichakshate. Synonyms. Evam, thus, yukta, contemplating, kritaha, while doing so, tasya, his, daivam, supernatural power, cha, also, avekshataha, observing, Tada, at that time, Kasya of Brahma, Rupam, form, Abhut, became manifested, Veda, twofold, Yat, which is Kayam, this body, Avi- Avichakshate, it is said to be. Translation: while he was thus absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, two other forms were generated from his body. They are still celebrated as the body of Brahma. Purport: two bodies came out from the body of Brahma. One had a mustache and the other had swollen breasts. No one can explain the source of their manifestation, and therefore, up until today, they are known as the Kayam or the body of Brahma, with no indication of their relationship as his son or daughter. Text 53. Tabhyam rupa vibhagabhyam mithunam samapadyata synonyms. Tabhyam of them, rupa form, vibhagabhyam thus being divided, mithunam sex relation, sampadyata perfectly executed. Translation: the two newly separated bodies united together in a sexual relationship. Text 54. Yastu tatra pumansobhyuhun manuh swayambhuvah swarat stri yachish चतरूपाख्या महिषी asya mahatmanah synonyms yaha one who two but tatra there puman the male saha he abhut became manhu the father of mankind swayambhuvaha of the name swayambhuva swarat fully independent stri the woman ya one who asit there was Shatarupa of the name Shatarupa, Akhya known as Mahishi, the queen, Asya of him, Mahatmanaha, the great soul. Translation: out of them, the one who had the male form became known as the Manu, named Swayambhuva, and the woman became known as Shatarupa, the queen of the great soul Manu. Text 55. Tada mithuna dharmena prajya hi edham bahuvire synonyms. Tada, at that time, mithuna, sex life, dharmena, according to regulative principles, prajah, generations, he certainly, edham, increased, bahuvire, took place. Translation: thus, thereafter, by sex indulgence, they gradually increased generations of population one after another. Text 56. Sachapi शतरूपायां पञ्चापत्यानि अजीत अजीजनत् प्रियव्रतो न पादौ त्रिशरः कन्याश्च भारत आकूतिर्देवहूतिश्च प्रसूतिर् इति सत्तमा synonyms saha he manu cha also api in due course Shatarupayam unto Shatarupa Pancha 5 Apatyani children Ajijanat begot Priyavrata Uttanapada Tishraha 3 in number Kanya daughters Cha also Bharata O son of Bharata Akuti Devahuti Cha and Prashuti iti thus Sattam O best of all. Translation: O son of Bharata, in due course of time he, Manu, begot in Satarupa 5 children, 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Dehuti, and Prasuti. Text 57. Akutim Ruchaye Pradat Kardamayatu Madhyamam Madhyamam Dakshayadat Prasutim Cha Yata Apuritam Jagat. Synonyms: Akutim, the daughter named Akuti, Ruchaye, unto the sage Ruchi, Pradat, handed over, Kardama, yeah, unto the sage Kardama, too, but Madhyamam, the middle one, Devahuti, Dakshaya, unto Daksha, Adat, handed over, Prasutim, the youngest daughter, Cha, also Yataha, wherefrom, Apuritam, is fulfilled, Jagat, the whole world. Translation: The father Manu handed over his first daughter Akuti to the sage Ruchi, the middle daughter Devahuti to the sage Kardama, and the youngest Prasuti to Daksha. From them, all the world filled with population. Purport: The history of the creation of the population of the universe is given herewith. Brahma is the original living creature in the universe, from whom were generated the Manu Swayambhuva and his wife Shatarupa. From Manu, 2 sons and 3 daughters were born, and from them all the population in different planets has sprung up until now. Therefore, Brahma is known as the grandfather of everyone, and the personality of Godhead, being the father of Brahma, is known as the great grandfather of all living beings. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita as follows: Bhagavad Gita 11:39. Vayur Yamo Agnir वरुणः शशाङ्कः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपीतामहश्च नमो नमस्ते अस्तु सहस्र कृत्वः पुनश्च भूयो अपि नमो नमस्ते. You are the Lord of air, the supreme justice Yama, the fire, and the Lord of rains. You are the moon, and you are the great grandfather. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 12th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others.
Ribol. Okay, I think tomorrow we can start with the appearance of Lord Varaha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very
Hare
good.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Prabhu, can I read Shikshashtakam first verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Shri Shikshashtakam. Cheto darpanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadujivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamrita svadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तेस् तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशं ह्याजनि नानुरागः तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूळि सदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं बभुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविश्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनं ब्रह्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः.
Haribol, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. Such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hair of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Sikshashtami ki jai.
Jai,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai. बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तब तना पाया कृष्ण पदे प्रेमोदन. And if one is infested with the 10 offenses in chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for the propagation of the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to an imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some mundane interpretation. Prabhu, please scroll up. We are on the seventh one. Sixth offense is to give some mundane interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense is to
consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Tenth offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema. Let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanshakapatarubhyascha
Panchakalpatarubhyashta
कृपासिन्धुभ्यो
पतितानां
वैष्णवेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो नमः
नमः.
अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की जय.
Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Art
jai.
ki
Jai.
jai, jai Gaur Premanande, Hari
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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you very, very much, Sami Pro, for hosting the session. Thank you, all
Thank you
devotees.
so much, Prabhu, for
Please
joining.
forgive me for my offenses.
you.
We'll join you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you so
Prabhupada.
much.